Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and a new video from me. I'm so happy that you found your way here, whether you're an old subscriber or a new subscriber. Today I'm here with a very special guest. This is Christine Sesay. She is the CEO and founder of Africa's Moneypreneur. It's an educational financial platform that guides African entrepreneurs in finance, but also in private finance. So just take it away, Christine. I want to know a little bit about your professional background and how did you come into creating African Moneypreneur?
Sure. So Africa's Moneypreneur is like the biggest thing that has happened to me. I mean, I think when I wanted to start this platform, it boils down to my background and what I had studied and what I had worked in. So I'm a professional accountant. I've lived in Europe for about 10 years working in that space. Well, lived in Europe longer, but at least 10 years working in that space. And when I came back to Africa, continued working, I still have a day job. The thing that struck me was the amount of entrepreneurs we have in the region at the moment. And so I was like, oh goodness, I want to be the accountant for all of them, you know. So I decided, you know, I wanted to go into accounting and finance, which I was familiar with, which I understand and I know about. So I thought, why not set up a platform that could do that? And so Africa's Moneypreneur was born, with the view that I'll tackle it with entrepreneurs and the like. So I started working locally with entrepreneurs I could find at home. And the thing with it was I was like so excited to see how many people were, you know, doing such amazing businesses, but didn't even understand how their finances were, you know, how money was moving around in their organization. So when I started African Moneypreneur and with these businesses, I noticed that it was hard to even break through to people given that they didn't even understand their own personal finances. I mean, the thing with business is your finances as a person extends towards your business because that's your understanding. Right. So most people didn't understand how money works, how, you know, they should be managing their finances, what they needed to do. So I said, no, you know, I am going to find a way to tackle this personally first, with a view that I can then extend to the entrepreneurship. So I'm on a journey, which has started with the personal and with a view that I'll get to entrepreneurs soon, very soon. Look out.
Yay. Okay. That's really, really cool. So what is the end vision? What do you see? So we're at the beginning kind of African Moneypreneur and that platform. What is the vision with African Moneypreneur? What would you like to see happening with it?
Future. Next week. I think what I want for African Moneypreneur is to be that platform, your go-to platform for your finances. I mean, even if it's the personal blog or using our platforms that we'll be creating to run your business finance, I want people to go to us and say, no, I don't understand this, but we should answer you. So we're here to serve the entrepreneur. I mean, we want to be that service to you. We want to break it down to you. We want you to understand the difference. We don't want it to be jargons anymore. You know, we want it to be everyday language. And that, you know, for the continent to develop, for us to change the way we're doing things, we have to, you know, take this holistically and then just address the different issues we have. And that's what we want to do at African Moneypreneur. Okay, so is it like any level of entrepreneurs on any development level that could use that platform? Initially it will tackle those that are just you know, start-up entrepreneurs, your small scale SMEs that are starting out, with the view that in the future we'd love to go bigger, but I think there are platforms already existing for major companies that would be able to understand that. I think there's a market for me at the small medium enterprise level, and that's probably where I'm going to tackle for now. That's how I see myself.
Okay. So like people like myself or maybe other diasporans who are African but don't really, we weren't born or raised in an African country, but let's say that we would like to come to African country and maybe make an online business or any type of business. Is that is that a platform that we could use?
Most definitely. I think it cuts across. I mean, the language of finance has no borders. So we wouldn't see anybody come from one place to another. I mean, what would differ us is the taxes and the laws that guide our land. So what this platform will do, which we will start off first in certain countries with a view of spreading to others, is more tackling the issues that you would deal with in your own country, your tax laws, what it applies to you, understanding how that will fit in. And we would work with local accountants in those countries. And then with the view that, you know, as we grow bigger and all, we can go to those different countries and make sure the platform is available to all. So definitely coming in, you're new, this will be for you. I think it's more making the language something you would understand to be able to present to your investors, but above all, that you'll be able to see and understand how to grow your own businesses so that we don't just remain the small businesses that we are currently.
And we're going to talk about African Moneypreneur, but I also want to hear a little bit more about your cultural background, but also in which country you were working before you came to Africa and started working.
So I am Sierra Leonean originally, very proud Sierra Leonean, I must say. Go Sierra Leone. I was born to Sierra Leonean parents, but my dad did travel around the region a good bit, so I've lived around. But I trained in Dublin, Ireland. So in Europe, I was there for quite a long time and worked for at least 10 years there as an accountant, and decided to come back, and I came back to work with an NGO in Niger. So I'm bilingual. Bonjour mes amis. So we will...
I really want to learn French.
I tell you. So and then worked there for about 3 years before I went back to Sierra Leone. So I've been back in Sierra Leone now almost 5 years. It feels like a long time. So yes, that has been my background. But even in the jobs that I've worked in, coming back to Africa, I've worked for the NGOs in finance sector, and then just moved up the leadership ladder.
When you were in Dublin, did you always see yourself at one point moving to Sierra Leone and working, or?
Never.
Really? Wow! How did you end up here?
No, it's such a long story. My mother came to Dublin and she was like, "Girl, it's time to go home." You know, your father and I went back home. We survived. So my mom made it happen. Thank you, Mama. Today.
Wow.
It didn't feel like that at that time, I must tell you. But you know, but I think it's by far a good decision, a hard one sometimes, you know, but it's
definitely
good. I think it's looking at it over the 8-year period that it's been coming back to Africa, but it's something I don't regret at all. And I say this, but please take caution, make your own decisions.
Make your own decisions, please. Like, this is Christine's personal experience. It's worked out fantastic. My own experience, it's worked out like that. But yeah, everybody has their own journey.
Indeed, indeed. And I think it's all about knowing what you want and where you want to be and what you want to do. So coming back home was, for me, given the career path that I followed, it's worked out. I mean, having the job that I do, I'm really grateful for it. Having to build this platform and being able to talk to so many women about finances has been great. By the way, I'm not just a woman's platform, but I do tend to attract mostly women. But it has been for me a fantastic journey. Again, it has to be yours more than mine.
Okay, so when it comes to African Moneypreneur, I think it's a really fantastic idea, especially as there are so many people around the African continent that are working for themselves, essentially. Like, they are in the informal sector, but they are go-getters and trying to create a life for themselves, and don't necessarily have the knowledge of exactly how cash flow and accounting works. So you're doing a wonderful job in trying to create a platform that could benefit them and their businesses. I know you have 5 healthy financial tips for us, whether we want to apply them to our private finances or small enterprises, if we have that. I think those tips could be really helpful.
They are.
Share.
And so, you know, just to start out, the thing I always look at is, let's say you have this young lady, like the beautiful one sitting next to me. I mean, there's so many things that we lose sight of. I mean, when a woman is starting out or a person is starting out their business, the one thing I think is vision. That is quite key, having your goals. I mean, when you set out your goals, just like a normal day life, it helps you then to plan the finances that have to revolve around those goals. So I want to be XYZ in 5 years. You know, I see my business going to this level in 5 years. Then, you know, once you see that specifically, then you're saying, oh yeah, you know, there are goals that have to be met for this. So yes, definitely having those goals. And following on from the goals, you will have to make a plan. There has to be a budget. Most financial platforms will tell you, don't spend, save your money, a cup of coffee there and all. Yeah, I think they're valuable tips. I am probably of the opinion, again, life has taught me that, you know, it shouldn't be a binge diet where you stop yourself from eating certain things and then, you know, like my diet plans, they never work. You know, I go right back to eating them. So I think it's more around, what I preach is more around planning. So it's more, let's take your finances, let's sit down, let's plan what you need to do. Let's have a budget, the word that nobody likes to hear, you know. Budgeting is really just sitting down and planning and saying, this is where the money will go when it comes in. Because, you know, the one thing I hear all the time from women is, the money disappeared in my bag. The bag has holes, you know. I mean, several excuses we give ourselves. But the thing we have to do is plan it. I mean, plan for the enjoyment, plan for the travel, plan for, you know, the different things that make you happy, because there has to be happiness. Money has to serve you. So even in your finances, plan to grow in your businesses, I mean, you plan to grow your business, you know. So definitely have to plan around that. And I think one thing you have to understand as well, which I always encounter with women, is understanding what your own expenditures are. When I tell people to make their budget, you know, they'll be like, oh, what do you mean? I have to understand my expenses, you know. Yeah, you do. Mine are different from yours. I mean, I do have travel. It might be once a year, but you travel for, you know, the greater part of your time. It doesn't mean because you do, your budget is worse than mine. Right. You know, it's more around than targeting what really makes you happy. And I think that is what has been really key to us. So that would be my third, you know, point to people. And I think the fourth one that I am quite passionate, if anybody tells you that I've done speaking engagements on, has been around savings. There's this myth around savings that when I make a lot of money, that's when I start to save. No, you start now. That's why I can travel, because of savings. And the thing with savings is, it doesn't have to be big monies. If you look at the algorithm of it all, or if you do check it out online, I mean, you could start small. No matter how little it is, equivalent of $1 a day, $1 a week, you know. I am all about the habits more than the amounts. So it's creating that savings habit, and then you build on it. I always found when I started saving small, I get to a point when the money is growing, I'm like, whoa, you would want to increase it. I mean, it's just natural that you're thinking, oh my goodness, I can have this much money. You would want to increase it, I promise you. So definitely started a savings plan now. And I think my final tip will be emergency fund. Oh my goodness, we never plan for emergency. Africa, we're full of emergencies. The car breaks down, your granny is sick, your auntie comes for money. Endless. So you have to have some money put aside to be able to make that happen. I mean, all of this as well, it varies in value, it varies in amounts. People are always asking, give me a percentage, give me this. Again, personal plan. It has to be what works for you. I may earn a certain amount and you may earn something different. You make it happen for you, what you want to do. And then once you have that plan, you'll be able to then say, oh yeah, you know, I would love that. One of the things that has been helpful for women when tracking what they spend on is an envelope that we have at African Moneypreneur. And that envelope, you put the money in, and then you track your spend every time. And that just tells you what exactly you spend your money on. Now, it could have two effects. One, it could make you go, oh, I don't want to spend too much money anymore. Or contrary, you might go, I now know what I spend my money on and can now do my budget to match what makes me happy. So the different tools that are out there, and we will definitely have one that we would have in your currency that we could put up and show you, and definitely something you could use to be able to help you plan.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. I really love those tips. I feel like you definitely know what you're talking about, Christine.
Girl, it's a lot of life experiences with this.
The saving part really resonates with me because I'm a huge saver. My friends would even call me cheap, but I don't think so. I just know what I prefer spending on and what I don't prefer spending on. These are tips that we will definitely take with us. Guys, if you want to know more about African Moneypreneur, I have the link in the description box. We're going to have testing at least in January, so maybe somewhere after January there's gonna be more on that platform. So please check out the website to be updated on all new happenings that's gonna take off. Yeah, do you have anything more to say? Or
guys, let's start this finance business in Africa now.
I agree. So thank you so much for watching, guys. If you've stayed this long, I really appreciate all the comments. If you have any questions, just keep on commenting and I'm gonna do my best to answer them all. And until next time, see you. Bye.